catch a football, throw a baseball, talk to your friends. You won't be able to do any of that. So how are we able to do that? We are able to do it through this active transport. However, since we're not following the regular diffusion laws, how can we do that? We're going against nature. So we need something to help us out. So with this active transport, we use energy. ATP, to be exact. Okay, we use this as kind of a pump. So as we look here, we have sodium and we have potassium, two things that are needed in your cell. However, it needs this pump in order to get it in there. So if you look on this sodium gradient here, we have a high concentration of sodium here, a low concentration of sodium here. ATP energy is added to this protein channel. Once that energy is added, this protein channel recognizes the concentration difference and then allows this sodium to be pumped out of the cell. It realizes there's a concentration difference and this sodium is then pumped out of the cell. Well, over here we have sodium. Okay, we have potassium over here. So with this potassium, at times is going to be needed inside the cell. This sodium, when it's used after the muscle contracts, is needed to get out. Now this potassium needs to come in. So we have this high concentration here, low concentration here. This same energy is used in this protein channel. Realizes we have a lower concentration here. Can take this potassium and pump it inside the cell where it's needed. So with active transport, the main thing to remember is it needs energy. It needs energy to do the opposite of what the diffusion, what is naturally done with diffusion. We have three different types of active transport. We have endocytosis. Endocytosis is where a lot of times used with food. Okay, it's used in a vacuole. We have things outside the cell, inside the cell. So we have the cell membrane. We have food particle. Some pizza you ate for lunch. You need that pizza. So as it comes and as it goes through this protein channel into the cell, as it comes in, when it comes in here, all of a sudden we're going to develop this vacuole around it. And remember, what is a vacuole? A vacuole is a food storage. Okay, if you're not using that food right away, it's going to use this, it wants to store it for later. Okay, so this allows us to store it for later so that we can use it for energy later. This is endocytosis. Endocytosis is going to bring this food through the membrane, develops a vacuole around it, and here. Phagocytosis. So phagocytosis, we talk about, are used with phagocytes. What are phagocytes? Phagocytes are white blood cells. So inside the cell we have some virus or some bacteria. This white blood cell is going to come here and starts to engulf it. And when it engulfs it, it then is able to kill it. So that's kind of our immunity in a very simple sense. Okay, there's bacteria, there's viruses in our cell. The white blood cells come by and engulf it and kill it. So with exocytosis, this could be the same thing, where this white blood cell engulfs it and it wants to get out of the cell, so then it will then remove it out of the cell, through this protein channel and out the cell. So anything that the cell doesn't want inside is going to remove it through that. So we have endocytosis. phagocytosis, and exocytosis. So those three methods of active transport, make sure we know each. Endocytosis, phagocytosis, exocytosis. Make sure we know each one of those. All right. I have a little demonstration here. So I have a little ramp. Here, wooden ramp. I was trying to figure out, we'll just try doing this right here so you can see. So I take the basketball. I have this ramp. I want to get this basketball from inside the cell out, or out in. So one way I can do it is just lay the basketball right. Let's use this instead right here. So I'm just going to put the basketball right here, let it go. It's able to get out of the cell, crosses the membrane. Now I can also take the ball and I want it to get it back up. Now if I just leave it there, that's not going to happen. But if I come here and I force the ball up, it's able then to go up. So I can leave the ball here, let gravity go, take it down, or I can just bring this ball and bring it up to here. So I have those two methods. Which one of these is facilitated diffusion? Which one is active transport? So I just let this hang here and let it go. This is facilitated diffusion. And then bringing the ball back up is active transport. Facilitated diffusion, I don't have to do anything to it. It does it on its own. After transport, I have to add energy to it. As I add energy to it, I bring it up to here. Wait a minute. Okay. Good. All right. So we're going to answer the objective questions. So we have the cell membrane regulates what enters and leaves the cell and also provides protection and support. So what's the function of the cell membrane? Regulates what comes in and out. Also offers protection and support to the cell. Diffusion causes many substances to move across the cell membrane without using cell's energy. It follows concentration. It goes from high concentration to low concentration. Make sure we know and remember